My fiancé announced, "We're postponing the wedding until you agree to have my name on everything you own." I said, "That's a reasonable boundary." Then I called our wedding venue and transferred the $15,000 deposit into my name only for a solo celebration party. Her mother's lawyer sent a demand letter 3 days later. I, 33 male, was 3 months away from marrying Natalie, 31. We'd been together for 2 years, engaged for 8 months. I thought things were solid. Turns out, I was wrong. Context matters here. I own my house outright, bought it 6 years ago for $285K, paid it off last year. I have a 15% stake in my family's logistics company. My dad started it, my brother and I run operations now, worth roughly $900K on paper. My car's paid off. Retirement accounts are healthy, not rich, but comfortable. Natalie's a dental hygienist, makes around $58K. Rents her apartment, has student loans she's been chipping away at. We'd talked about her moving into my place after the wedding, which made sense financially, or so I thought. Last Thursday evening we were at my place going over wedding RSVPs. 200 guests, venue booked, her parents contributed $7K toward the $22 total. I covered the remaining $15K. Deposits locked in everywhere. She set down her wine glass and hit me with it. "Ian, I've been thinking, I need my name on the house before the wedding." I looked up from the spreadsheet. "What? The house, and the car, and your stake in the company. Everything should be in both our names. It's only fair if we're getting married." I blinked. "Natalie, we haven't even gotten married yet." "Why would I?" "Because marriage is about partnership, sharing everything. If you really loved me, you'd want me to feel secure. You'll feel secure after we're married. We can discuss things then, friend, but I'm not putting your name on assets I earned before." "Before what? Before me? So I'm just supposed to move into your house, drive around in your car, live off your money with no legal protection?" "You'd have legal protection. It's called marriage. Community property laws, not good enough, Ian." Her voice went cold. "I won't be some second-class citizen in my own marriage. Either you put my name on everything or we're postponing the wedding until you see reason." I stared at her. The ultimatum hung in the air like smoke. "So let me get this straight. You want your name on my house, my car, and my business stake, assets worth over $1 million that I built before we even met. Or you're calling off the wedding." "I'm not calling it off. Just postponing until you understand what marriage means." Something in her tone, the rehearsed quality. Like she'd practiced this. "Wow, that's really a reasonable boundary you're setting there. Nat, really reasonable." She smiled, missing the sarcasm entirely. "I'm glad you understand. My mom said you'd fight me on this, but I knew." "Your mom?" "Yeah, we've been discussing it. She thinks I should protect myself. Her divorce from my dad was messy because she had nothing in her name. She doesn't want that for me." Oh. This wasn't Natalie's idea. This was Diane's. "Right, well, since we're postponing the wedding, I should probably handle some logistics." "Thank you, baby. I knew you'd see reason once you thought about it." She kissed my cheek and went back to her wine like she'd just asked me to pick up milk. I excused myself to my office. Made 3 calls. First, my lawyer buddy Kevin explained the situation. He laughed, then stopped laughing when he realized I was serious. "Dude, do not put her name on anything. That's insane. If you break up, she owns half your stuff without ever being married? Hard pass." Second, my brother at the company. "Heads up, Natalie's asking for her name on my stake. Obviously not happening, but wanted you aware in case she tries anything." Third, the wedding venue. "Hi, this is Ian Whitmore. I have a reservation for October 12th. Yeah, the Whitmore-Keller wedding. So there's been a change. The bride wants to postpone indefinitely. I'd like to transfer the reservation and the $15,000 deposit currently held under both names to my name only. For let's call it a solo celebration party. Same date, same package. Can we do that?" Long pause from the event coordinator. "Mr. Whitmore, typically our policy." "I paid the entire deposit. I can provide proof of payment. The bride has just indicated she's postponing our wedding indefinitely. I'd still like to use the venue and services I paid for." More silence, typing sounds. "Let me speak with my manager. Can I call you back?" "Sure." 20 minutes later, they called back. Manager confirmed. Since I paid the deposit in full, and the reservation was technically under both names but paid by me, they could transfer it to my name exclusively. The $15 stays with the venue, applied to my event. I'd need to sign new paperwork. Perfect. I'll be there tomorrow to sign. Friday morning, I drove to the venue, signed everything, got copies. The reservation was now exclusively mine for a private celebration event on October 12th. Friday afternoon, I sent Natalie a text. You said we're postponing the wedding until I meet your terms. I respect your boundary. I've moved the venue reservation to my name only since I paid for it. You're welcome to make new plans when you're ready. Also, I think we should take a break while you figure out what you want. Don't contact me unless it's to pick up your stuff from my place. She called immediately. 16 times, I declined all of them. Saturday morning, her mom Diane showed up at my door. Ian, we need to talk about this nonsense. Good morning, Diane. Don't good morning me. You canceled my daughter's wedding? I didn't cancel anything, she postponed it indefinitely. I just rearranged my finances accordingly. You stole the venue deposit. I paid for the venue deposit. I redirected my own money for an event in my name. That's not theft. You're punishing her for having boundaries. No, I'm respecting her boundaries. She said she won't marry me until I put her name on everything I own. That's not happening. So there's no wedding. Pretty simple. Diane's face went purple. You selfish, controlling. Diane, you need to leave. Now. She stomped back to her car. As she drove off, she screamed out the window. You'll be hearing from our lawyer. Update 1. 4 days later. Got the demand letter Tuesday morning. Certified mail. From Hastings & Associates, attorneys at law. The letter was incredible. 3 pages of legal word salad demanding 1. Immediate return of the $15,000 venue deposit to the engaged couple. 50-50 split. 2. $7,000 reimbursement to Natalie's parents for their contribution to a wedding that will not occur due to Mr. Whitmore's unilateral decision. 3. Compensation for emotional distress in the amount of $5,000. 4. A formal apology. Total demand, $17,500 plus an apology. I called Kevin. Dude, you gotta see this. Sent him a photo. He called back 2 minutes later, laughing his head off. This is the most garbage demand letter I've ever seen. They have zero standing. You paid the deposit, she broke off the engagement with her ultimatum. Her parents' contribution was a gift. An emotional distress? Please, I'll draft a response. Kevin's response was beautiful. Mr. Whitmore paid the venue deposit in full using his personal funds. He possesses documentation proving the same. Ms. Keller announced an indefinite postponement of the wedding contingent upon Mr. Whitmore transferring ownership of significant premarital assets to her name, a demand he declined. As such, there is no wedding to plan. Mr. Whitmore has chosen to utilize the venue services he purchased. Ms. Keller's parents' financial contribution was a gift, legally irrevocable. Your claim of emotional distress is frivolous. No funds will be remitted. Further baseless demands will be met with a harassment claim. Regards, Kevin Patterson, attorney. Sent it certified mail Wednesday. Then the real game started. Natalie's sister Brooke called Thursday morning. Ian, what is wrong with you? Natalie's devastated. Hi, Brooke. Don't hi, Brooke me. You're throwing away 2 years over money. I'm not throwing away anything. Your sister demanded I put her name on assets worth over $1 million before we're even married, or she'd postpone the wedding. I said no. That's it. She just wants to feel secure. You're being unreasonable. Brooke, would you marry someone and immediately put their name on everything you own? Pause. That's different. How? Because you're the man. You're supposed to take care of her. I actually laughed. Taking care of someone doesn't mean handing them ownership of everything you've built. That's not marriage. That's a robbery with a ceremony. You're disgusting. Click. Friday, things escalated. Got a call from my bank. My checking account had an attempted unauthorized access. Someone tried to add themselves as a joint account holder using forged documents. Can you tell me who tried this? I asked the fraud department. I can't disclose details, but the documents showed a signature purporting to be yours, requesting addition of a Natalie Keller to the account. We flagged it as suspicious because the signature didn't match our records and you hadn't contacted us. Holy hell. I did not authorize that. That's fraud. I want to file a police report. We'll freeze any further access attempts and document this. You should definitely file a report. Went straight to the police station. Filed a report for attempted identity fraud. Got a case number. Then I checked my credit. Recent inquiries. Someone had tried to open a joint credit card in both our names. Also flagged as suspicious. Also not me. Called Kevin. She's trying to forge joint accounts. That's identity fraud. Document everything. This actually helps you if they push the legal thing further. Shows her intent to access your finances without permission. Saturday, Natalie showed up. First time I'd seen her since the ultimatum. She looked rough. Good. Ian, please, can we talk? No, just 5 minutes. Against my better judgment. Fine, 5 minutes. You can't come inside. We stood on my porch. I'm sorry, she started. I shouldn't have given you an ultimatum. I was scared and my mom got in my head. Can we please just forget this and move forward? So you'll drop the demand for your name on everything? Well, I still think it's fair, but we can discuss it after the wedding. We don't have to do it before. Natalie, someone tried to add you to my bank account using forged documents. Someone tried to open a joint credit card in our names. Was that you? Her face went white. That wasn't, my mom thought. Your mom tried to commit identity fraud using my information? She was just trying to help, to show you how easy it would be to share things. By committing a crime? Are you insane? Don't call me insane. We're getting married. It shouldn't be fraud if we're engaged. Natalie, we're not engaged anymore. The wedding's off. Permanently. You tried to steal from me. I didn't steal anything. It's not stealing if. Get off my property. If you or your mother contact me again, I'm adding her to the police report for identity fraud. Leave. Ian, please, leave. She left sobbing. Didn't care. Update 2. 2 weeks later, the entitlement reached nuclear levels. First, Natalie's dad Frank called. He's usually the reasonable one. Ian, this has gone too far. Let's all sit down and talk this through. Frank, your wife committed identity fraud. Your daughter demanded ownership of my assets as a condition of marriage. There's nothing to discuss. Diane made a mistake. She's apologized. And Natalie, look, she's young. She got scared. Women need security. Women need security? Or con artists need assets? Long pause. That's harsh. Is it? Frank, be honest. Did you know about any of this? The demand, the forged documents? Longer pause. Diane mentioned helping Natalie feel more secure financially. Did she mention how? Did she tell you she was forging bank documents with my signature? Silence. Frank, I like you. You've always been decent to me. But your wife manipulated your daughter into trying to steal from me. And when I said no, she tried to commit fraud. I've filed a police report. If Diane contacts me again, I'm pressing charges. Tell her. Ian, I'm done. I'm sorry this happened. I really am, but I'm done. Hung up. The following week, I did something petty. Beautifully, satisfyingly petty. I kept the venue reservation for October 12th, invited my friends and family, 50 people. Sent invitations. You're invited to celebrate Ian Whitmore's Independence Day, October 12th, 7 p.m. Dinner, drinks and dancing to commemorate freedom from manipulation. Dress code, whatever makes you feel powerful. My brother thought it was hilarious. My parents were concerned but supportive. My friends, they showed up with bells on. The venue coordinator called 2 days before. Mr. Whitmore, we've been contacted by a Diane Keller claiming you're using venue services meant for her daughter's wedding. The services I paid for and transferred to my name legally? Yes. She's quite upset, threatened to protest outside the venue during your event. If she shows up and causes a disturbance, call the police. I have a restraining order pending against her for the identity fraud case. Understood. Just wanted to give you a heads up. October 12th arrived. The party was perfect. Open bar, catered dinner, DJ. My best man's speech was about recognizing red flags before you invest in a sinking ship. Everyone laughed. We danced. We celebrated. And yeah, Diane showed up. She stood outside the venue with a homemade sign that read, "This man stole my daughter's wedding." Venue security asked her to leave. She refused. They called the cops. 2 officers arrived. She started screaming about me being a thief, about her daughter's broken heart, about the money she'd contributed. One of my groomsmen recorded the whole thing from inside. The cops asked if she had a legitimate reason to be on private property. She didn't. They asked her to leave. She refused. They arrested her for trespassing and disturbing the peace. From inside the venue, we watched through the windows as she was put in the back of a patrol car, still screaming. My brother raised his glass to dodging bullets. Everyone toasted. Best $15,000 I ever spent. Update 3. Final. It's been 6 weeks since the party. Here's where things landed. The identity fraud case moved forward. Turns out, Diane didn't just try once. Police investigation found she'd attempted to forge documents 3 separate times. The bank account, the credit card, and a third attempt to add Natalie's name to my house title through a fraudulent quitclaim deed that she submitted to the county recorder's office. The county caught it because the signature was noticeably wrong, and they called me to verify. I had no idea until the detective informed me during their investigation. Diane was charged with 3 counts of identity fraud and 1 count of attempted theft by deception. Her lawyer tried to argue she was acting in her daughter's best interests and didn't understand the legal ramifications. Judge wasn't buying it. She pleaded guilty to avoid trial. Got 18 months probation, 200 hours community service, ordered to pay restitution for my legal fees, $3,800, and mandatory counseling. If she violates probation, she does jail time. Frank filed for divorce. Apparently, this wasn't the first time Diane pulled something like this. She'd forged his signature on loan documents years ago without telling him. He'd buried it to keep the family together. But this was his breaking point. He apologized to me privately, said he should have stepped in sooner. Natalie? Complete radio silence after the party. Then, about 3 weeks ago, I got a LinkedIn message from someone I didn't know. Woman named Jennifer, around my age. The message: "You don't know me, but I dated Natalie's ex-boyfriend before you. She told you she'd been single for 6 months before you met, right? She wasn't. She was engaged to Kyle. Same thing happened. She demanded he put her name on his condo and his investment accounts before the wedding. When he refused, she called it off and tried to claim she'd contributed to his assets during their relationship. He had to threaten legal action to get her to back off. I'm sorry this happened to you. Just wanted you to know it's a pattern." I thanked her for the information, forwarded it to Kevin. "Good to know," Kevin said. "If she ever tries anything else, this establishes a pattern of behavior. Save it." As for the $7K Natalie's parents contributed, Frank asked for it back through his divorce attorney. Said Diane had used their joint savings without his knowledge, specifically for the wedding contribution, as part of her scheme to entangle Natalie in my finances. Since there was no wedding, he wanted reimbursement. I sent him $7. Not because I legally had to. Gifts are gifts, but because Frank got screwed by Diane as much as I almost did. Seemed fair. My Independence Day party became legendary among my friend group. People still bring it up. My brother uses the phrase, "Whitmore Independence Day," whenever someone escapes a bad relationship. The venue coordinator sent me a thank you note. Apparently, my event was drama-free once Diane got arrested, and everyone tipped really well. They said I was welcome back anytime. Sold my house last month, not because of Natalie. I'd been considering downsizing anyway. Bought a smaller place closer to work. Fresh start. Dating? Not yet. Trust issues are real. My therapist says I'm handling things well but need time to process the betrayal. She's right. The weirdest part? I don't regret any of it. Not the party, not the police report, not the financial boundaries I held. Could I have handled things differently? Maybe. Could I have just given in to keep the peace? Sure. But here's what I learned. When someone shows you they value your assets more than your partnership, believe them. When someone's willing to commit fraud to access your finances, you don't compromise with them. You protect yourself and run. The entitlement was staggering. Natalie genuinely believed that being engaged entitled her to ownership of everything I'd built before we even met. Diane genuinely believed that forging legal documents was acceptable if it benefited her daughter. The delusion was almost impressive. But reality doesn't care about entitlement. Courts don't care about, but we were in love. Banks don't care about, but we were getting married. The law is the law, and fraud is fraud, regardless of motivation. I lost $15 in venue deposits. Technically, I got the party, so did I really lose it? Spent $3,800 on legal fees, got reimbursed, and lost 2 years with someone who turned out to be running a long con. But I kept my house, kept my business stake, kept my financial security, kept my dignity. Natalie kept nothing except a reputation as someone who demands her fiancé's assets before marriage. Diane kept a criminal record and a divorce. Frank kept his self-respect by finally standing up to his wife. The revenge wasn't elaborate, it was just boundaries. Hard, immovable boundaries enforced by law and common sense. Sometimes the best revenge is just refusing to be a victim. And throwing a really good party with the money they thought they were entitled to? That's just a bonus.